Welcome to the Social Fireside Chats with the PR Warrior. That would be my good self, and good to see the fire is still kicking out a little bit of heat for us today. I want to share with you today my favourite tool when it comes to recording audio and video for my podcast, Reputation Revolution. Now, I've used a lot of them over the journey. I've done the straight Zoom situation, which I know a lot of podcasters use. There's one called Squadcast, which is pretty good, Zencaster. And going back to the really early days of podcasting, I was using Skype, which, oh my God, don't get me started. But I know a lot of people use Zoom today because it's what we're all used to. And Zoom does the job. But if you're trying to, produce a reasonable podcast of good quality, then you need to go up a bit in production values. And Riverside is my recording platform of choice. It's riverside.fm. If you're going to look at them on the punch in the URL into your web browser. But Riverside is web-based, so it means that the person you're interviewing, and let's face it, a lot of podcasts today are interview-based. They don't need to have an app. They don't need to download an app. All they have to do is click a link that you send them, and bang, you can start recording pretty much straight away. It's that easy. You can check their levels of their audio and how they're recording. And basically, you can record video and audio. I record video today because it gives me more things to do with the asset, the content asset, the recorded interview that I do. I can put it up on YouTube. I can cut little snippets out. So I do like doing the video as well. But even if you're going to just do audio and not place any video anywhere else online, it's still good to be able to see the person you're talking to. Otherwise, you might as well be on the phone. So Riverside is really easy. The people you're interviewing, they just click a link and you can start recording. You have a countdown clock, but the quality of the video is a lot better than if you use Zoom, for example. So what the good thing about Riverside is that it's recording locally. So if the internet drops out, if you're on Zoom, it drops out. But if you're recording someone and it drops out, it's still recording locally off their computer as well. And so what happens is that it records you locally, them locally. So you've got two tracks that you can snip together, blend together if need be. You have got the other opportunity to use this is you can interview more than one person. You can have, I believe, up to 7 people. So you can have a good gab fest all on video, which is fantastic. But it also does a backup, which, when we're doing recording interviews with people, and it might take you, months to get a particular guest, you don't want to not have any recording at the end of that. And I get great comfort in knowing there's an internet backup as well, which is not as good as the locally recorded one on Riverside, but at least you've got a backup. And there's been times when I've needed to use that as well. So you've got a lot of podcast editors like having the two audio files, getting a little techie here, sorry, but 2 audio files that you knit together or you edit together, because that way, if one's too low in terms of volume, you can turn them up and to make sure that you get the balance between the two voices right. Again, this is for interview and conversations between 2 or more people. The other part of it too is that the click of a button, you can join the two together and what they call their magic composer, and it composes the 2 videos together or the 2 audio tracks, so you've got one seamless audio or video track. So it just gives you lots of options. You've got backup. It's the best recording because you're recording in HD. And so it's got so much going for it. It's really not an expensive, I don't even know what I pay, but I know it's not a lot and I'm happy to pay it. They're reasonably new and they've been getting some serious funding. So they're continuing to bring out new improvements of the platform. A recent one being you can add media to it in the editing process on the web browser as well. But I'm not even getting into that. I just like the basics am I confident that the recording's going to happen? Am I confident that the video is going to be pretty good? I want to make sure the audio is good, which it generally is pretty good, and that I've got easy access and it's stored up in the cloud anyway. I always download straight after my interviews, and then I file them away just to make sure I've got a copy. As a lot of podcasters will attest, it's great to make sure you've got access to your audio and video files, because you might edit them further down the track, not necessarily straight away. And finally, you don't need a podcast to use something like Riverside. I'm working with a couple of clients now, and they're using it for other reasons. One is they create beautiful reports and white papers and stuff, and their authors of those reports and white papers want to go more in depth on the topic. And so that's what they do. They go more in depth on the topic between the two authors, and they have a conversation, and it makes a great little video. Or they might interview a client who's been part of the report as well. So there's a fair bit there. It's riverside.fm. If you're thinking about at least podcasting, give it a look at, give it a trial. But even if you want to do your firm is a bunch of experts and you want to discuss elements of new legislation, for example, or trends, or it's a video that you want to do, I'd be doing this as video as well. I think you'll find the quality will be up to your standards.